Buying a used car is a tedious process that takes time and patience. About a year ago, I started my search for a new car, and I found a Honda Civic that I fell in love with from the moment I saw it. It was a white four-door, and it seemed perfect. I mean, besides the regular wear and tear on the exterior of the car, from the paint chips, from driving on the freeway, the car looked fine. I noticed a couple little pieces of, or a little bit of damage on the inside of the fender, but I wrote it off because the value of the car and the mileage was phenomenal. So I told the guy that I wanted to buy the car, and I went home that night only to check the Carfax to find that the car had almost double the mileage that the car showed on the odometer. Right away I knew that I had dodged a huge bullet that could have been really costly. I just recently finally found the car that I wanted, and I got it at a great price, and it has zero issues with good mileage, and I want to share with you what I learned in the process. It is always important to take your time and take the necessary measures in order to find the right car and to get the best possible deal. Oftentimes people jump the gun in the purchase of a used car, overlooking many important factors that ensure you're getting a great deal and buying the right car. They often fail to ask the right questions to the owner of the car, and these questions are very important because they could clear up many issues and problems that may arise once you take ownership of the car. You want to make sure you know everything about the car, good and bad. It's almost like you're making an adoption. There's a lot to know. Sometimes questions can also determine whether the seller is being honest or if they're making lies just to sell the car. An honest seller is the best type, even if they tell you every little problem the car may have, because these are all things you want to know. Any new owner wants the reassurance that they are being handed off a car that was well taken care of and maintained accordingly. Too many people fail to take care of their cars, deeming them unreliable and not a good buy. Many people leave their cars just sitting outside with just dust piling on them. They never wash it, so the paint gets faded, and they never do oil changes and stuff, so the engine doesn't run right. And then they sell it off, and then the new owner finds that they need to get a new engine or do a lot of maintenance in order to even get the car running right. If you ever find yourself skeptical of a car, you should look elsewhere, because you never want to settle for a car that could be a potential lemon. Remember, if it seems too good to be true, then it's probably too good to be true. Many cars that are sold for a lower price than they are actually worth when they have low mileage and seemingly are in great condition is often because they are salvaged, meaning that the car was heavily damaged and then repaired and put back on the market. A salvaged car versus a clean car is a huge difference, because a clean car is sound and reliable, whereas a salvaged one could have problems down in the future. You can check to see whether a car is clean or salvaged on Carfax, which I've pulled up here. And it's easy to check a car's Carfax. You just need the VIN number, which can be found in the door or in the windshield. And you just type it in here, and for $30 you can check the title of the car and many other pieces of information. Any person in the market for used cars should take the time to educate him or herself on things to look out for when looking at a new car, or when looking at a used car. A visual inspection is arguably the most important step when looking at a used car. Right off the bat, you'll be able to tell a lot about the car just by looking at it visually. A visual of the car will determine the condition and upkeep, and you always want to ask questions about every little dent or scratch on the car in order to know the history of the car. You want to keep an eye out for misaligned body parts and panels, because this could indicate that the car has been in an accident. So if the hood is misaligned with the fender, or the bumper doesn't line up correctly with the body of the car, then you'll know that there's something wrong with the car that you should probably ask about the owner. Also, new headlights or bumpers are clear indications that the car has had repairs done to it. So you should always ask and get background on stuff like that. Once you know what car you want to buy, make sure to check car values on Kelley Blue Book to get the best deal for the car. And I pulled up Kelley Blue Book right here. If you go to car values and you go to what should I pay for a used car, you can put in the year, make, model, and the mileage of the car, and based on condition, it'll give you the value for the car and what it's worth. Based on condition and options, a car will vary greatly in value. You will find that used cars are often posted at a much higher price than they are worth paying for, because sellers are always trying to get the price they want out of the car, so they'll post it maybe $2,000 more than it's actually worth, so that they can come down to what they want. So that's where the Kelley Blue Book value sets the basis on which to negotiate, so that the buyer and the seller they can settle on a price. So once you go through all this and you pull up the Carfax, you want to verify that everything lines up with the story of the car from the owner. So it'll show you all the service records, and you can compare it to what the owner told you, and you can see if it was maintained and serviced accordingly, and you can see how many owners and just miscellaneous information. With the right education, any buyer can have the confidence that they are buying the right car at the right price. One should never rush into buying a used car unless they are asking for problems, issues, and headaches in the future. There are many times when someone could be getting frustrated with their car or can be having a lot of problems with the car, so they just want to get rid of it and buy a new one. So you don't want to be the one to buy that car that has all the problems, because then it'll become your headaches and frustrations. So with the right knowledge, everyone can become a smart, educated buyer in the used car market. Anytime you want to look into buying a used car, make sure you do your research and always remain cautious in order to avoid buying a problematic car.